Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Palmer, and today I'm going to present to you the Mommy Medicine Cabinet. As a mom, what should you have at home in your medicine cabinet when your kid has a stomach ache, when your husband doesn't feel well, when something's happening and someone gets injured? And these are the things that you should have at your own house to be prepared for anything that happens. And of course, things typically happen on the weekend, and then you don't have all the supplies at your house that you typically carry at your office, and you're like, I found only I had this. And then, of course, if someone's vomiting, you don't want to leave them and go to the office and get what you need. So these are the things that you should always have at your house in your medicine cabinet to be prepared for anything that might happen on a weekend. This is also really good information that you can give to your moms, you can give to your patients on what they could carry at their own house. And something happens, something turns on, some kind of illness or sickness or injury happens with their own family, they actually are prepared. They have the tools that they need to do something about it. So if your moms are like, well, when my kid has a stomach ache, what do I do? Or when someone has an injury like sore muscles or an ear infection or UTI or those types of things, these are troubleshooting things that they could do at their house until they get back into your office and you can help them. Okay? All right, so here we go. A lot of your patients think that over the counter medication means it's safe. It's almost like if it's not prescription, then over the counter is defined in the patient brain as it's safe, it's okay, anybody can take it, it's harmless. And we know over the counter medication just means that you don't need a prescription for it. If you remember the recalls that were happening with Tylenol, um, medications are not safe. Medications have side effects. Every single medication has a side effect. And that's why we love the systemic formula line, because we're dealing with building blocks, herbs, and plant-based nutrients that can help a body heal instead of tearing it down. So over the counter does not mean safe. I had a patient last week. She had her 6-year-old in with her, just visiting. The 6-year-old wasn't a patient. And I kept hearing this weird noise, like a real heavy, congested breathing. And I thought, well, that must be the patient in the room next door. Maybe they're, congested, or maybe they're just, falling asleep and taking a nap. I don't know what's happening. And then I realized, oh my goodness, it's the kid behind me. It's the kid. The 6-year-old is having breathing issues. And I asked her mother, what are you doing for your child's congestion? Because I wanted to help her. And the mom said, I'm giving her Zyrtec. And I asked her, well, how long have you been giving her Zyrtec? And the mom's thinking, oh, it's over the counter, it's safe. She'd been giving her 6-year-old Zyrtec for months because of her congestion and her allergies. And I was like, oh my goodness. Because obviously Zyrtec has side effects. Zyrtec affects the liver. Zyrtec can get toxic in tissues. And of course, there's other things that we can do to help her. So I'm going to go over these tips, whether it's congestion or sports injury or whatever it is, on how you can help empower these mommies so they don't put their kids on Zyrtec or Tylenol or aspirin or any of these other over-the-counter medications. Are you ready? Okay. The first thing that you should have in your mommy medicine cabinet is something for skin conditions, whether it's an itchy, rashy eczema, a dry skin, a scrape, an abrasion, you cut your finger, those kinds of things. I love Skin Coloniser. Skin Coloniser is one of my favorite systemic formulas. Skin Coloniser can go on any of those areas. We've had little kid patients with eczema and they're scraping their skin off. They're so itchy. You put Skin Coloniser on it with its 8 oils and its probiotic purpose, and the body has what it needs to help heal the skin, but also it's soothing. It also smells amazing. It smells like vanilla. So Skin Coloniser, I'm going to use that on any dry areas, any injured skin, dry lips, dry skin on the arms, dry skin on the legs, anywhere you have skin, you could put Skin Coloniser as a moisturizer or to repair areas of skin. The other product that is in the skin category for the mommy medicine cabinet purposes is Renovator. So Renovator is also really good for any kind of skin disturbances. if you muscle test, you can muscle test the Skin Colonizer versus the Renovator and see which one tests better. Whatever one tests better, you're going to get better results with, because that's what the patient's body is asking for. So Renovator is really good for any of those purposes that I talked about with Skin Colonizer, but also Renovator can be applied on scars. Scars, whether they're from a long time ago or something that recently happened, can negatively affect the nervous system. Scars can be anything from, getting your ears pierced, tattoos, your belly button, because that's where you got disconnected from mama, any surgeries that you've had, any stitches that you've had, any injuries that you've had that broke the skin. Those are all can be considered scars. Scars in the midline, those of you that do Chinese medicine know that really can affect the energy systems of the body, the meridian of the body, and that can be linked to any organ. I had a patient that had a scar. He had a mole removed on his back, and that scar became irritated. And what I mean by irritated is, say he had a massage or he scraped his back on, I don't know, like on a tree or something, irritated that scar and reactivated the scar. And meaning reactivated is irritating the nervous system. And we found that his high blood pressure through nutrition response testing was linked to that scar. We started putting Renovator on that scar, and as the scar started to heal, his blood pressure came right back down to normal levels. So with scars, anything can cause anything, and Renovator is your go-to for scar application. When we're talking about mommies, if they just delivered babies and they had some ripping or tearing from the baby delivery, that could be an active scar and can be linked to postpartum depression, along with C-section scars or episiotomy scars. So if that is the case and the mama's getting a little sad, it does not mean that she has a deficiency in antidepressants, but it does mean that perhaps if we put some Renovator or Skin Colonizer on that scar, that her mood would go from really, really sad to happy and ready to go again. I had personal experience with that. A couple of days after my daughter was born, I unfortunately had a lot of ripping and had a lot of stitches. And I got really, really sad, and I didn't know why. I just thought like the world was ending and that I was a bad mom and that my daughter didn't love me and all this like kind of crazy thoughts. And luckily my husband, Dr. Jason Dean, does nutrition response testing, and he tested me and he found out that new area of tearing was actively messing up my nervous system, which makes so much sense. And so we applied a little bit of organic vitamin E. I could have used Renovator or Skin Colonizer. If you have a cold laser, you can also do a cold laser treatment in that area. And within minutes of that occurring, I went from like the saddest in my whole entire life to completely fine. So scars are huge. You got your Renovator, you got your Skin Colonizer, and it is super useful. Also, your pregnant mommies could be putting Renovator or Skin Colonizer on their tummies to help prevent stretch marks. Okay, so definite in the mommy medicine cabinet. Insect bites. Woo is, if you looked into my purse right now, you would find Woo and you'd find Skin Colonizer. Woo is amazing for so many things. This should definitely be in your mommy medicine cabinet. It's really great when we're talking about skin again, if you have insect bites. One of my staff walked through a spider web this week, and she got bit in the chest by a spider, and it got red, and there was a hole in the middle of it. And we put some Woo in it, and yes, it did sting, but this, you can see the spider bite, the inflammation's going down, and it's actually decreasing in size, which is really cool. Anytime an insect bites you, they can inject through their bite bacteria, viruses, fungus, parasites, nasty stuff. A good rule of thumb is if your family member or someone, patient, gets bit by an insect, you can put a little bit of Woo on that bite and it'll help the area heal, but also make sure funky stuff like the bacteria and the viruses and the fungus and the parasites do not go crazy in that bite and cause problems in the body. So Woo oil definitely should be in your mommy medicine cabinet. Allergies. So I talked to you a little bit about the patient that her child had allergies. Well, what are allergies? It's the body creating too much reaction to things in our environment. And so sometimes that occurs because the liver is really clogged up. So if the patient came into the office, you can check to see how well their liver is functioning. You can test the right side. So you can test right here. So below on the right side on the rib cage, that's the liver point. You can check the liver point and see how it tests. If that liver point is weak, perhaps they would like L liver. Cleaning out the liver can help with allergies. So that's something to look at. You can look at boosting the immune system with ACP or ACX. And you can look at doing a detox. So there's lots of options. If I was home and someone started sneezing and coughing and allergies, I'd probably test the patient or test the person on ACP or ACX, because that's going to help boost the immune system and actually can do a little bit of detox action for the liver. Woo oil too, again, one of my favorite things, woo. So if someone has sinus congestion or sinus pressure, you can put a little bit of woo on the maxillary sinuses. You can put some on the frontal sinuses and even behind the ears. If it is a young child, just realize that they're going to rub their eyes. So maybe avoid this one, but definitely do the ears, and you can do the frontal sinuses. So again, woo is my friend, definitely in the mommy medicine cabinet. Pain relief. You had your honey-do list where you mow the lawn, or you weeded the flower bed, or you did some kind of construction project, or you decided to ride bikes for the first time since the winter, or whatever the case may be, and you have people that are complaining about sore muscles, muscle rejuvenation, really good stuff to take muscle soreness and inflammation out of that area. So if you overdid it, or perhaps a soccer game went long or a baseball game went long, muscle rejuvenation is really good. I had a patient in yesterday. He has a friend in town, and they're going to do 3 days of 18 holes of golf. And so I know that that patient does not normally play that much golf in that short a period of time. So he went home with one of these. It's going to go in his golf bag, and I'm sure he's going to use it. So this is really, really good for sore muscles, overused muscles. So say that you're in ski season and you haven't been skiing and now you're really sore. A bottle went for one of my patients that left for a ski trip this week too. Bruises, the arnica can help with the bruises. So really good product for muscle pain. If it's chronic muscle pain, perhaps they have a knee that bothers them or a bad shoulder, you can try Jot, J-O-T, or Arta. But definitely, if I was looking at one thing, this muscle rejuvenation would be in the mommy medicine cabinet. Muscle cramps. Have you ever had where you woke up in the middle of the night and your calf is cramping, or your toes are cramping, or your hamstring or your quad, something was cramping and you're just like, ah? A lot of times that can happen because you're low on minerals or you're low on electrolytes. A perfect product for that would be Min. So Min would be in the mommy medicine cabinet. I didn't pull Min today, but Min would definitely be there for really good trace minerals and electrolytes. So Min, you could take one every 15 minutes while the cramping's occurring. Also period cramps. So female cramps, uterine cramps, the muscle cramps and then doesn't let go. It may be low in calcium or magnesium. So period cramps, you can also try Min. So Min is in the mommy medicine cabinet. Colds and flus. Oh my goodness. We've been seeing lots of patients this week with lots of congestion and colds and flus and runny noses and coughs and all that stuff. If you did muscle testing, you can determine if it's more of an immune challenge that's bacterial or more of an immune challenge that's viral. So it's really nice. You can figure that out. If you do nutrition response testing, you can use the immune test kit and you can look at the bacterial vials or the viral vials. And determine what product would be better. If you're at home or you're a mom and you just have no idea, you could try Bactrex. So Bactrex typically helps with bacterial immune challenges. If you don't have Bactrex or you don't know if it's bacterial or not, you can try Gold. So Gold can also help to boost the immune system. I love Vivi. Vivi is one of my favorite products. It smells amazing. So you could try Vivi. You could try Attack, OXCC, OXAA. Those are all really good options if someone's a bit under the weather. And then whatever you do, if you have something that's more for an immune challenge, like something that's for bacteria or something that's for a virus, you always want to give the patient drainage. And great drainage options would be ACP or ACX. How do you know which one to use? Whatever one you have in stock helps, but also ACP is more mild and the ACX is stronger. So if you're testing someone and they want a lot of the ACP, if you're doing dosing on them, then you might try ACX because it's stronger. Or you can muscle test, do they like ACP versus ACX? Or whatever one you have in stock. So ACP or ACX will help boost the immune system, but also it's very important for drainage. If the bacteria is being killed off, your immune system's killing that off, but then you have dead bugs all over the body, and that's when the patient gets really congested, they get achy, they don't feel well. You add ACP or ACX, and it helps to kind of vacuum out or get rid of all those dead bug particles around the body. Upset stomach, nausea, vomiting, stomach cramps. Oh my goodness. So many cases this week with this problem. With nutrition response testing, we're able to identify what it was. In this case, it was a lot of parasite action down here in Florida. It was a full moon, it's spring equinox. It was a full moon, and this moon, each full moon can have a name. This full moon is actually called a worm moon because they found out that Native Americans in South America saw around this moon that the worms were more active. So back in the day when I did chiropractic and I did less nutrition and I really didn't understand how the environment had an effect on us, like, oh yeah, you talk about the moon, you talk about this, planets and Mercury and retrograde and all that. And I'm like, oh, that's foo-foo stuff. And then now we're starting to see trends based on what's happening. I have a patient who her dad has cattle and they won't do any kind of surgical removal of like a castration on a bull when there's a full moon because they're more likely to have bleeding problems. They'll bleed out. So I thought that was like super interesting. She goes, yeah, there's a lot of those things that link in farming and raising cattle with planetary conditions. And that's really interesting because the longer I'm in practice is we see trends. So we know that we're going to call systemic formulas. We're going to talk to Julie and say, hey, Julie, we need way more Verum 1, 2, 3, and 4 because it's about to be a full moon. And then this week we've sold out of all of our Verum 1, all our Verum 2, all our Verum 4. All we have is a couple bottles left of Verum 3. So if a patient has or your child has nausea, upset stomach, bloating, vomiting, stomach cramps, it could be parasitic related. If you do nutritional response testing, you have your parasite vials. Parasite vial 1, 2, 3, and 4 correspond to parasite vial 1 corresponds to Verum 1. Parasite vial 2 corresponds to parasite or Verum 2. Parasite vial 3 corresponds to Verum 3, and parasite vial 4 corresponds to Verum 4. So that's how you utilize that. That test kit was made that way on purpose for systemic formulas. And it's a really nice way of knowing which product to use with what. So if you don't know, you say your husband wakes up in the middle of the night and he just feels horrible and you have some kind of Verum at home, go ahead and give it to him. Remember though, you should give him drainage. So either the ACP or the ACX. My husband and I were traveling and my mommy medicine cabinet comes with me with the mommy travel kit. And my husband woke up in like 3 in the morning. We were at a hotel with horrible stomach cramps. He was pale. He was sweaty. He looked awful. And I, at one point, thought, oh my goodness, like, I think I should call him an ambulance because he's acting like he's dying. And we're going to have to go to the hospital and we're not going to make it to the seminar. And oh my goodness, this is a huge problem. Luckily, I had my nutrition response testing test kits, so I was able to test him and I found out it was a parasite. And luckily, I had some of the Verums with me and I gave him Verum 1. And I thought, okay, well, I'll give him the Verum 1 and some ACP. And then in the morning, I guess I'm going to have to like go to the hospital with him because he was acting like he had appendicitis. He was so crumpled up in pain and just pale and sweaty and looking horrible and feeling horrible. So I gave him the Verum 1, gave him the ACP. He went back to sleep. I fully thought we were going to have to pack up and go back home. And in the morning, he acted like nothing was wrong. He acted like he was completely fine. Parasites are more active at full moons. That's what I was telling you about the worm moon. And at nighttime. So that's something you can try. The other thing you could try for upset stomachs is maybe their microbiome in their gut is not 100%. it was compromised from stress or eating processed foods, being on antibiotics. You can try ABC or MBC. So those are things that would be good to have in your mommy medicine cabinet. Woo oil, again, my favorite. I think, guys, this is my favorite because you just use it so much. So a drop of woo on the tummy can settle upset stomach and nausea. If you just don't feel well, you can even keep the bottle on you because your body will pick up on the frequencies, on the energies in this. It does have worm seed oil in it that can help with parasites. So one drop on the tummy can help upset stomach and nausea. Okay, so that's definitely in the mommy medicine cabinet. Constipation. Constipation can make you feel pretty bad. Most Americans go to the bathroom with a bowel movement 1 to 2 times a week. The worst case I ever had was a lady that had a bowel movement every 2 months. She was only in her 20s. And her medical doctor said, well, I guess that's just how often you go. But if you have that much fecal matter backed up in your system, you are toxic and you're not going to feel good, low energy, even you can have vomiting. One thing that you can do to get the bowels moving is aloe. So this is systemic formulas AO or aloe vera. And so you can put, I actually just use the cap because it's easier. You can put a cap in 8 ounces or 6 ounces of water and drink, and that can keep the bowels going well. If you're a smoothie person, you can put some of this in your smoothie in the morning. Do know that some patients think a little bit is good and a lot is like amazingly better, and then they give themselves diarrhea. Okay, so if your patient's doing well and then they're like, oh my goodness, I have diarrhea, I don't know why. It could be because they overdid it with the aloe. So AO aloe, and then we tell patients when they open this, they should put it in the refrigerator. So that way it stays good. So aloe for constipation. Also, you have C colon. So maybe their colon's just not working properly. So you have C colon can help with that. In your mommy medicine cabinet. Diarrhea, another thing that I'm always going to travel with, and I didn't bring it over here, is bind. So bind is activated carbon, and it can help with diarrhea, vomiting, food poisoning. So if, God forbid, someone has at home and they have diarrhea, they can take 2 bind every 15 minutes. One point I was home alone and I just started feeling really awful, and I took 15 bind, and at the 15th bind, all those symptoms turned off. So bind is really great to have, really great for your mommy medicine cabinet, and can stop diarrhea. Urinary tract infections. So if it's urinary frequency, or urgency, or burning, there's a cause. With nutrition response testing, we can test to see, is it a bacteria? Is it a virus? I've even seen parasites in that area wreaking havoc. If it is a bacteria, you can try Bactrix. And then remember, what are you going to add? Yep, you're going to add the ACP or the ACX. So they might take 1 every hour, and then they may take 2 or 3 ACP or ACX depending on the case. Bactrix has saved patients from so many things and kept them off antibiotics. The other thing that you can do is skin colonizer. So skin colonizer can be applied to the urethra, and that can help with the symptoms of UTI, but it also has what in it? Yes, it has probiotics in it. So if someone you love has urinary tract infections or frequency or urgency or burning, it means everything, all the little buggies in that area are not balanced. It means that they can use some help. So a probiotic skin colonizer can go in that area and completely resolve a UTI. So really, really great. Also, I always try to have at home organic cranberry juice, not the organic juice with the apple and the grape and all that, but just pure organic cranberry juice. It is super bitter, but it can help clear out any urinary problems, and it's a good thing that you can mix with water. Okay, so that's in the mommy medicine cabinet, is the Bactrix and the skin colonizer. Sleeping problems. You're wired, you can't fall asleep. You jumped time zones, you just having a rough time, DREM or dream from systemic formulas, but please make sure that whoever you're giving it to takes it and then goes to sleep. It's not a product where you want to take it and then be up for hours. So you want to take it and then go to sleep, and it can definitely help with sleeping. There's so many patients out there that are taking not over the counter, taking over the counter, but they're also taking prescription drugs for sleep. We know in Chinese medicine that if a person continues to wake up at 1 in the morning, they keep telling you, oh, I wake up every day at 1 in the morning, or I wake up every day at 3 in the morning, or I keep waking up. You can look at the Chinese medicine clock, and it will tell you which organ might be affected, and you can check them. So say liver shows up, you can put L-liver on the body and test it. If it's strong, that patient might do awesome with liver, and it's because their liver's toxic and it's waking them up because it's cycling at night. Perhaps it's lungs. You can use our lung. Perhaps it's kidneys. Maybe their kidneys are, having issues, and that's waking them up, and they have to run to the restroom. So they can try K-kidney. Or maybe they have just awful kidney stones. So KDIR is awesome for kidney stones. We've kept a lot of patients from having to go to the ER because of KDIR. So Dream is in the mommy medicine cabinet. Stress. Oh my goodness, I wish I had these products when I was in chiropractic school. Would have made my life so much easier. My number one stress product is GA. So GA adrenal, you guys know the adrenals are located above the kidneys, and because of where they are, a lot of times when people are stressed, they get back pain, okay? So those of you that are doing chiropractic, or you're consulting with patients and they have back pain, check out their adrenal glands. They might be so stressed that their adrenal glands are taking a hit, and they have back pain not because their back has a problem, but because their adrenals have a problem. There's so many people in our society that are really, really stressed out, and GA adrenal can give them the nutrients and herbs that they need to get their adrenals functioning properly again. One of the signs of adrenal stress is the person is tired. They wake up tired, but then at nighttime they are wired. They don't want to go to sleep. So tired and wired patients, GA. Maybe they're stressed about work. Maybe they're stressed out. Your kids are in your mommy medicine cabinet. They're stressed out about school. They have exams. They have a big paper due. Deadlines, family coming in town, all those things, GA. I think we're going to triple our stock of GA because we can't seem to keep it on the shelf. So if you guys have the same problem, even if you didn't do a lot of nutrition, or you weren't sure if you put all your patients with back pain on GA, you'd be helping them out, and you definitely wouldn't be hurting them. The other product I really like for stress is Calm. So that has a calming effect on the person. Again, when you have stress, you have emotional stress, you burn through lots of minerals. That is also why 16B is really good. 16B is 16 B minerals, or 16 B vitamins. So you can use 16B, and then that'll also help boost energy and boost mood, and it's just an amazing product. I love 16B. And then drainage. So if you had just one of these in your mommy medicine cabinet, that would help, either ACP or ACX. So, someone's a little bit under the weather, they're stressed out, they feel like they're coming down with something, they're going to be on a plane, or they're traveling, they're going to be in a big business meeting or a convention. ACP and ACX, you'll also find one of those or both in my purse. So ACP or ACX, great. You should totally have in your mommy medicine cabinet. If you have these supplements, or at least some of them in your mommy medicine cabinet, you will be prepared to handle anything that happens to your family. If it's a kid with a tummy ache, if it's a husband with sinus problems, if it is a honeydew list item and you're super sore and your muscles are sore, whatever the case may be, these are the minimum things that I would say you had in your mommy medicine cabinet that you would have some kind of solution. And then also, patients love to be able to have information at their fingertips. So if you took these tips and you gave them to your patients, they would at least have something that they could utilize before they got back to your office on Monday. I'm Dr. Lisa Palmer. This is the Mommy Medicine Cabinet, and I hope these tips help keep your family healthy.